We took the brand new self-driving 2025 Tesla Model Y Juniper, yes, the one with the fancy new parking bumper camera, and threw it into one of Europe's most unpredictable parking lots. We even put a drone in the air for a bird's eye view and let the chaos unfold. This isn't your average chill demo. We're letting Autopark fail over and over in the most realistic scenarios, and for our grande finale, we've prepared an impossible parallel parking spot that even a human would dread. At one point we got so close, the front bumper camera practically filmed the car's intestines. Let's see what the new vision-based Autopark is really made of, and where it completely falls apart. First up, let's address the elephant in the room. Why are we still testing Autopark instead of full self-driving? Well, because the EU is still blocking its release here. It's frustrating not having access just because you live in the wrong place. It shouldn't work like that in a truly globalized world. Luckily, it doesn't have to be that way. NordVPN virtually teleports you wherever you want, unlocking geo-restricted content anywhere. Netflix and chill in your Tesla, regardless of what your government thinks you should watch. It won't protect you from curb rash or questionable parking decisions, but your online traffic will be bulletproof, just like the Cybertruck. While enhanced autopilot or full self-driving required for Autopark cost thousands of dollars and stay locked to a single car, one NordVPN subscription covers 10 devices simultaneously for just a few bucks. Plus a special discount and 4 extra months free using the code ROBOTIRL or the link below. Experience internet, not internet supervised. Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Tesla Autopark is pretty hardcore. It doesn't need parking lines or clearly marked spaces. Instead of relying on precise ultrasonic sensors, radar or LiDAR, it uses 8 cameras to see all around the car, build a 3D map of the world, and identify potential parking spots like it's playing a video game. But unlike a video game, the stakes are very real. When you let your car park itself with razor-thin margins, you risk damaging your brand new Tesla Model Y Juniper, nearby inferior vehicles, or your own sanity. Now, if you enjoy watching expensive robots risk their lives so you don't have to, give this video a quick like. It keeps the chaos coming. What you're seeing is one of our very first tests with the new car, and while this spot looks easy, it's anything but. No parking lines, no clear boundaries, just a vague dirt road meets lawn situation, and a massive rock sticking out like it's guarding a treasure. But here's the kicker. Tesla's 3D occupancy network sees the rock, maps it perfectly, and parks like it's solving a toddler puzzle. Everything is fully automatic, just pick a spot and hit the blue button. Now, because Tesla Autopark detects parking spots on its own, you can trick it into discovering, let's say, less than ideal resting places. Like this one, behind a BMW that's blocking 2 other spots with zero regard for human decency. See, this is what I meant by using Autopark where it really shouldn't work. But trust me, this is just the warm-up. What's coming next is much worse, so stick around. You can see Autopark taking its sweet time, but believe it or not, this was actually one of our fastest parking jobs ever. But speed isn't everything. One of Autopark's biggest strengths over other parking assistants is flexibility. You can engage it from any angle. It always parks in reverse, but it figures out the whole trajectory before making a move. Need to go forward first? It does that. Corner's a mess? It still tries. As long as the spot technically exists, Tesla gives it a shot, even if it's blocked from multiple sides. This spot, however, throws another curveball. It's designed for front-in parking, and that's Autopark's Achilles heel. Remember, it only parks in reverse, which means now it has to suffer. As do we all here in Central Europe, still waiting for full self-driving to arrive. Can you guess which country we're filming in? Drop it in the comments below. Bonus points if you can also guess when FSD will finally show up here. The rumor on the street is that in May, we could finally get the regulatory approval. Anyway, back to our poor little robot. It bumps its rear wheels on the curb, stubbornly trying to back in deeper, careful but clearly in distress. It softly taps the curb multiple times, and for a moment it looks like we've triggered an infinite parking glitch. But eventually it gives up, with the front still awkwardly sticking out. Not perfect, but hey, technically parked. But what if you engage Autopark into a spot that's basically on a collision course with another car? Does Tesla just blindly obey and crash according to its initial plan? The cars in front of us aren't making it any easier, turning what looks like a normal spot into a much more stressful challenge. Our driver nervously hovers his hands above the wheel, ready to tap the brakes at any moment, but the new front bumper camera gives him just enough confidence that we're not crashing. At least, not yet. But then the car adjusts, Tesla shifts the spot mid-maneuver and corrects the trajectory on its own. Another example of Autopark's flexibility. Now that you're brushed up on the basics, let's take the training wheels off, launch the drone and head to one of the busiest parking lots in Europe. This is where the real fun begins, and it starts immediately with our first failure. One of the most common ones for Tesla Autopark. So what went wrong? At first, it looks like the perfect setup. The car swings forward in a wide arc, using every inch of available space. Textbook Autopark. You're thinking, okay, this might be a clean two-move finish. And the efficiency continues, smooth, confident, like it's done this 100 times before. It backs into its tight spot like a pro, but just like a nervous teenager, it finishes prematurely, leaving the nose sticking out way too far. But what you just saw was at least a graceful failure, no real danger just yet. And where's the fun in that? Let's actually try to crash into something. Once again, the front bumper camera boosts confidence by clearly showing we're not colliding yet. But now it gets worse. A car is coming from the left, eager to squeeze past, instead of patiently waiting for Autopark to finish the job. A job that was set up for failure right from the start, because there's a shopping trolley occupying our parking spot. And if the driver didn't intervene just in time, we would have probably crashed into it. So let's try again. This time we approach the trolley from a different angle, and once again Tesla sees no issue confirming a parking spot that's already occupied. But now we're letting it go all the way. An impatient Skoda driver wheezes past us mid-maneuver, acting as an unexpected sparring partner for Autopark. The Tesla doesn't flinch, just calmly recalculates and moves forward twice before backing straight into the trolley. Yes, the same trolley it's been actively seeing and displaying the entire time on the cameras and on the occupancy network. As we get closer, the blob representing the trolley on screen gets bigger and bigger, and Tesla keeps adjusting, determined to finish the job no matter what. But here's the twist. Unlike earlier, it refuses to shift the parking spot itself. Why? Most likely because of the clearly painted lines, locking it into a fixed destination. So now it's juggling a serious dilemma: obey the lines and crash, abort the mission, or try to awkwardly squeeze in anyway.
Může ukazuje debilní přední kameru. Ty vole, si fakt jako otřem auta.
In the end, the driver taps the brakes right as we hit the trolley. Yes, actual contact. Wheel to wheel, nothing catastrophic, but still a crash. And frankly, that deserves at least a like, don't you think?
Vjet na kolečko košíku, to se mi ještě nepovedlo nikdy jako.
Trolleys are obviously a challenge, so let's keep fighting them. But this time we'll give the car at least a fair shot. To balance it out, we're adding 2 cars on the sides to raise the difficulty. There's very little room to set up the whole maneuver, but the new Tesla Model Y does a solid job. Now, the front bumper camera is great for us, but Autopark itself likely isn't using it yet. I'm curious if they'll rewrite the system to include it. And since the Cybercab also has one, and that thing's supposed to be fully autonomous, it's probably already on Tesla's roadmap. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? The Model Y rushes in confidently, no hesitation, but this time it's the driver who finishes too soon, aborting the maneuver with half a meter still to go. To be fair, the trajectory looked like a guaranteed collision. So why does Tesla insist on crashing specifically into trolleys? It probably comes down to their wireframe nature. Think about it, a trolley is mostly air, and air is safe, right? So Autopark just goes for it. Anyway, let's give the trolleys a break and raise the stakes again. We're going for the narrowest parking job yet, into a spot so tight it's practically a trap. Why would anyone park there? Well, you wouldn't. But what if your robo-taxi dropped you off in front of the store and then went to park itself, huh? You've got to start thinking in future terms, because this is the future, and we're already living in it. Watch the side camera views, everything looks insanely tight, but the drone shows there's just barely enough room. It's impressive how well Tesla judges distance with only cameras, no ultrasonics. The downside, no more precise measurements on screen like we had before. I start panicking in the passenger seat as the left mirror gets way too close, but the car and driver stay calm and finish the job. Almost finish. A bit of a theme with Autopark, isn't it? As promised, getting out of the car now is literally impossible. So probably just an average parking spot for those of you who keep commenting that you park daily on 2 square inches of space in Italy. You know who you are. Same energy as, my grandma reverse parks a truck blindfolded in Naples. Okay, legends, this next one is for you. To satisfy the certified parking experts, here's probably the most perfect textbook Autopark demo we've ever recorded. This spot is similar to the last one, but the front setup is trickier. Tighter approach angle, less room to swing. And the best part? You can actually get out of the car afterwards. What a luxury. But only if you're on the slimmer side, so yes, that's a hard pass for most of our US audience. See, this is what counts as premium parking real estate in Europe. What makes testing Autopark tricky is that you never really know when it's going too far. With Autopilot or FSD, you can feel when the car's about to screw up and take over in time. But with Autopark, everything looks super smooth until you're crashed. It's slow and calm, so it feels safe, but that's exactly why it's easier to get caught off guard and scratch your car. Alas, here we are, the perfect park. Or is it? Either way, it's time to raise the difficulty again. Let's see if Autopark wants to kiss a transparent glass wall the same way it loves those wireframe shopping carts. Now here's where Tesla gets clever. The system doesn't just see objects, it also builds a 3D map and marks every bit of space as either occupied or free to drive through. That's the occupancy network. At the same time, Tesla still runs classic object detection on top to label things like pedestrians, cars, or traffic signs. 2 layers of safety, one to know what something is, and the other to know if it's in the way. In this case, the system gets it right. It treats the glass wall as solid, and Autopark nails the job. We end up sticking out just a little bit in the back, taking parking notes from the car next to us. Now, if even that was too easy, how do you really challenge Autopark? Let's throw in some unpredictable variables like pedestrians unaware of the 2-ton robot hurtling towards them. This is where the danger spikes, and Autopark has to prove it's not just precise, but also polite. Spoiler alert, it's not. 2 humans with a shopping cart just barely squeeze past on the left, blissfully unaware they're one careless step away from being humbled by a rogue AI. But the Tesla stays composed, just as another slightly agitated human tries to wedge through the same ever-tightening gap. And this isn't just any attempt, it's one of the longest, most brutal setups we've ever made it endure. You can feel the system trying to fulfill our unhinged parking fantasy. Pure, real-world chaos. A full battalion of shopping carts flanks the left, and just for fun, there's a tree, complete with a curb, intruding into the spot. A true gem of parking lot design. Who wouldn't want to reverse into a tree? And honestly, this is exactly the kind of messy, unpredictable chaos robots need to master if self-driving is ever going to be truly dependable. And judging by what we're seeing here, they're getting close. A skeptical bystander watches as the Tesla hesitates, corrects, and stutters back and forth, practically leaking wiper fluid out of stress. And yet, it pulls it off. After the longest parking session we've ever recorded, the car completes its job, probably in the most efficient way possible. What could possibly top that? Oh, just you wait. So far, we've been rude, sure, but what's coming next? It's gonna give you so much second-hand embarrassment, you might want to click away. My advice? Don't. Stay with us. Suffer with us. All the way to the finale. It's worth it, I promise. This parking spot is impossible. Or maybe just impossibly stupid. It's not a real parking spot at all. It's a cozy little shed meant for returning shopping carts. But Tesla sees it and just has to try to squeeze in. And so we let it. Right as a very sweet, patient old lady arrives, trying to return her trolley to the exact same place. She's visibly confused, watching us wedge our way into her sacred cart return zone like total idiots. And to her credit, she doesn't panic. She doesn't protest. She just backs off wisely. And eventually, I can take it. I tell the driver to abort, evacuate, get us out of there immediately. That shame still haunts me, and somehow it gets worse every time I rewatch the footage. And if you made it this far without closing the tab in secondhand shame, consider leaving a like. Not for us, for the old lady. To honor her patience, her dignity, her silent judgment. She truly deserved better, and this is our formal apology. Doesn't mean we're gonna stop though, on the contrary. The main conflict of the video is arriving, the villain himself. Thankfully, the Model Y's acoustic glass blocks whatever colorful language he's using. But as he gets closer, starts gesturing, inspecting the car, we get nervous. Then he walks around to the back, and we engage Autopark just to see if the car will fight back. And finally, the Tesla loses its cool and yells at us like an angry parent. We take the hint, pack it before he calls the police. Time for our final, most ridiculous challenge. Parallel parking that even a human would dread. So this time, we let the human go first.
Human versus machine.
Now this is an expert driver we're talking about, but how long will it take him to park in an impossible spot? And can he even make it? Feels weird reviewing a human, but honestly I kinda enjoy it. His neural network is juggling two major worries. Will the car even fit in the space? And will he scratch his beautiful new wheels trying this nonsense? Still, his moves are fast and precise, way beyond what Autopark can do. And yes, he's doing it all one-handed, like a true macho. Unfortunately, we find out you can't display the front camera while reversing, which would be super helpful here. Meanwhile, the occupancy network basically thinks we've already crashed multiple times because we're getting that close. At one point, you can literally see under the car in front of us through the front bumper cam, which is just insane. And if that level of stress for entertainment makes your day, there is a thanks button under the video where you can leave a tip to help fund this madness. Just think of it as emotional compensation. Now we're stuck in this spot, because honestly, getting out might be an even bigger challenge than getting in. So we get out to assess the situation. Everything is terrible. The space looks even smaller from the outside, and honestly, morale is low. I whip out my phone to show you just how ridiculously tight this space really is. Meanwhile, the driver nervously climbs back in to attempt the escape, and of course, I offer zero help. At this point, I'm just the silent documentary cameraman watching a gazelle get mauled by a lion. Could I help? Sure. But would it be nearly as fun? Absolutely not. What's interesting though, he's clearly way more cautious than he needs to be here. At all times, there's still a solid 10 to 20 centimeters of breathing room on both sides. To all of you commenting about Spanish and Italian parking, if you actually do this every day and it's not just internet bravado, I salute you. Just like we're saluting our driver's sanity as it slowly drifts away. And after countless back and forths, he finally makes it out.
Na 50krát to vyjíždím, protože úplně jako nevím ten předek.
And now, the finale, the tightest, most unreasonable parallel parking challenge of the entire video. Our human driver already gave it a shot, barely made it in, barely made it out, and aged a few years in the process. Now place your bets. Can Autopark do it better? Turns out, it can by literally refusing to even render a blue box at this nightmare of a spot. Because honestly, no sane person should ever park there. And that's the whole point of intelligence, avoiding dumb situations in the first place. This refusal is the smartest thing Autopark did all day. Not because it can't try, but because it knows better. And if you would try to park there, you might be just as crazy as we were. Because true intelligence isn't about forcing your way in, it's knowing when to walk away. But if you want to see the tightest parallel parking job Autopark has agreed to try and somehow survived, click here to watch that next. It's painful, it's stupid, it's glorious. So go ahead.